Today we're gonna do a full fish studio update. Don't go anywhere. What is up, YouTube and all my fish keeping friends? How is everybody doing out there in fish tank land? I just want to give you guys a little bit of an update of everything I've got going on in my fish studio at this point. I pretty much have completely torn down all of the walls. I had some foam walls back behind me where my desk is, and that kind of separated the space and worked as temperature control. But now I've opened up the whole space and it's pretty much one big fish studio slash fish lab. So now I've gone ahead and opened up this whole space and it's one big fish studio is what I'm dubbing it. So let me go ahead and take you through. We'll start in this living room, we'll work our way all the way around into the kitchen, and I'll show you everything I've got going on. Okay, first off in this corner you see a bunch of summer tubs in my living room. We have this, my 25-gallon tub over here. This is half of a 55-gallon drum. It's a just 55-gallon water drum cut in half. Inside of that drum, I'm keeping a bunch of female wild-caught guppies from here in the Virgin Islands. And then actually in this second blue tub here, this is 10 gallons of water. This has a whole new batch of fry that have been collected, wild-caught that have been collected that are under quarantine right now. A whole new batch. I haven't touched anything with it, just under quarantine. There's medication in that water. And then these 3 5-gallon buckets, I'll put a card up above for the video on that. Doing a little bit of breeding program with the wild guppies. So I have trios in each of these 5-gallon buckets with some almond leaves and a little bit of hornwort. So that's pretty sweet. If you guys haven't checked out the video, I also have a card above for that video. This tank here, I have a little bit of a problem with the imperial tetras. They are sick with some kind of parasite that they came with from Peru, and I worked really hard to quarantine them for a long time with medication. And I really thought I had it, I got rid of it, but it came back once they put them in this tank from that bottom tank down there. So right now, both this tank and that tank down there are under quarantine. There's no fish in that. So that's what's going on here. Right now, the angelfish look good. They look pretty safe right now, but I'm just keeping an eye on them. Of course, we have my 29-gallon bow face tank. I got a lot of lights going on here. I don't know how well you're going to see this, but I do have. This started out as a community tank, and right now, pretty much the epistogrammas are running the show in here. And there's a tank boss. I don't know where he's at. I have the one lone glass catfish back there. There's a couple of neon tetras. And that's pretty much it in here, and everything's quiet because really the epistogrammas are running the show, and they're hiding out. They're probably in some coconuts somewhere. But I'm just working on a little bit of a algae bloom in there, so I'm just trying to clean that up. Waiting for some more filters to come in. So in this rack here, this is my. I wish I would have shown the build on this rack. This rack is pre-YouTube. All the tanks in this room, all 5, 6, 7 of these tanks are like pre-YouTube. But this was a lot of money for wood here for me to build this rack, but so I'm probably not going to do it again. But it was a fun build. Anyway, so of course on top there I have Elliot. Elliot is the he is a mud eel now, freshwater eel. He was mislabeled to me and looked very similar to a brackish water snowflake eel. So anyways, now I'm kind of reverting him back into freshwater and putting a lot of leaf litter. The tannins are starting to build up in this tank. And I have this really crazy grass that I'm going to plant. It's just hanging out in there right now, but I'm going to plant it all over the tank and get a bunch of leaf litter in there. Get rid of a lot of the big rocks off of the top, and I'm probably going to add a little sand to this as well. And I want to get rid of that fake stump and replace this whole thing with a like PVC kind of cave, and then hide it with some real rock or something like that. That's kind of the goal there. So over here I'm keeping him blacked out right now. I have my beta fish in here, my beta splendens. He's a beautiful fish, but the light is off because I'm just trying to deal with a little bit of an algae thing going on. But anyways, I need to do a water change on him again tonight. I'm just trying to clear up a little bit of an algae problem. There's a lot of light for about, that's maybe 2 gallon tank. So we have my paludarium. I really want to showcase this tank eventually in a video because a lot of people have asked for that. These are all immersed growing aquatic plants. I have a Japanese hydrocotyle in here. I have Hygrophila angustifolia. I have some stuff from Peru, some cuttings of stuff from Peru that are doing well in here. Some different mosses. I even have Physidens in here growing some immersed above the water line there, more like a moss. And I have Java fern. And the fish in here are local wild guppies. I really haven't touched this colony in here. I haven't messed with them at all. I just wanted to see what would happen. They've been in here for about 2 years, and I haven't added any fish. I haven't taken any away, and I don't know how many are in there, but they're sustaining themselves, and that's kind of just was kind of the test, I guess. So over here we have the yellow King Kong tank. I gotta clean this up. This is a dirty fish room update for sure. This hornwort like crazy in there. A little bit of a bacteria bloom in there still. But believe me, there's thousands of yellow King Kongs in there. They're for sale if anybody who wants those. Down at the bottom, this is my more planted tank. And right now I have my leucistic guppies in here. I've been pulling all of the leucistic guppies from up here, which is they're actually a mix of sunset microriff guppies and black bar endlers. So there's this like hints of endler blood in them, but they still have that yellow and orange that come from the sunset microriff, like fancy guppy. So I'm just playing around with that. It's just goofing around, but that's the fun thing about this hobby, right? So there's like, I don't even know. I'm up to like 19 or 20 different species of plants in there. That's like a whole video of its own as well. This is obviously under quarantine, so there's not much going on there. These plants aren't even really planted, just some anubias and stuff in there. And just letting that tank do its thing and kind of cycle, waiting for all this algae on the back to actually just fall off, letting for the, to really get the nitrogen cycle going in this tank again. Let's go to the kitchen. So I'll give you guys a peek. This is kind of, now that the wall is gone, now this is pretty much my studio. This is where I do everything. You see this totally DIY going on here. I have a boom slash jib that I made out of PVC pipe that is up here, which I can put a camera on it. I use it for a hair light right now. And then this is what I use for lighting. I can run it through a DMX board right there. But anyways, this is whole other video as well. If you guys are interested in just seeing what I work with, what I film with, what I do all my stuff with, let me know in the comments below. Maybe I'll just have to do a video about that, right? So now that the wall is down, this is all open. It's easy for me to move my water, which is on wheels, into the other room and do my stuff. This is my filtration, which is off right now. I'm trying to create a super beast water filtration system, just create some really nice water and lots of it. So I've got some new stuff coming in from Aquatic Life, and I'm just working on building a really quality water filtration system, and then remineralize and do all my stuff for all my shrimp, which is what's going on back here. So I do want to give a shout out to Ginger Graves because she's definitely helped in the funding of a new rack, a full-size Husky shelving unit, which is going to go in place of what's going on here. So I'll be able to put up to probably 24 10-gallon aquariums is kind of the plan for that. But right now in here we just have 6, 7, 8 aquariums, and then I got another one down there I haven't even set up right now, but I got to do something with it. Anyways, I have my blue bolts in here, and they're doing pretty good. This is more my A team of my blue bolts, and all this stuff I could do individual like species spotlights on all this stuff. Really, I need to, but these guys are doing pretty good. That's my kind of my more A team there. And then we get back here to all of the tanks here on the rack. We'll start over here on the right. These are wild caught guppies here from the Virgin Islands. I have these for sale, and some of these are going out to a couple other friends as well. I've sent some of these to Greg Jones. He's doing these outdoors in his greenhouse, so that's pretty cool. But these are pretty much, I'm trying to actually get rid of these fish right here at this point. And I got some other mosses just to grow out tank for some plants and stuff like that. This is my coaling tank for my blue bolts right now. And I started out with just like 2 species of plants. I said I was going to keep it simple, and I just keep throwing plants in this tank. You'll see that I like to put leaf litter in a lot of my tanks. I do have leaf litter here in the front of the tank. And pretty much all my shrimp tanks for sure, I like to have a little bit of almond leaves, banana leaves, and stuff like that. This tank right here is housing just a single male Fennel Panchax Gardneri killifish. His partner decided to jump out of the tank, unfortunately, and she and he are both wild caught P82 Gardneri killifish, so that was a real bummer to lose her. But I do have offspring from them here, a male and female, that are breeding in this tank. It's just a little 5-gallon, goofy little, like, I think it says like Marine Land or something, hex tank. I got this at a yard sale. I just use it for quarantine, but right now I'm putting them in here and feed them well. And I get about 5 eggs a day on that spawning mop, so that's a whole nother video as well that I need to make. Just go over how I handle all those guys. Let's see, down the bottom shelf is my favorite little project right now is my nano blue tetras. I have the original tank right here, and I'm gonna split this tank in half and put the half of them in this tank that's hidden behind my really awesome Eheim tool rack. But I'm gonna put them in there. That tank is just hanging out. Now there's nothing in there. There's some shrimp. There's a few shrimp in there, but the shrimp, I don't have a problem with them with this blue tetra because the blue tetra is so small. So in the center tank here, I have my second group of blue tetras. So after I got them to spawn in this tank, you guys have probably seen in some other videos. If you check those out, put some cards for that above as well. You know, I spawned them in the first tank, and then I took a big chunk of them and put them over in the second tank, and they've spawned in the second tank. So I'm gonna try it one more time, and then I'm gonna kind of more organize this. I just want to make it happen a third time, and then I'm gonna kind of organize this better and probably just have one spawning tank at a time, and just have a couple of grow out tanks, and then start spreading them out with some other breeders, so we can get some stuff going on, get them spread out around the hobby and stuff like that. That would be really, really awesome. So I'm taking a step back. I don't have my lights on in the kitchen. It's a crazy view, crazy lighting, but this is really awesome to have the walls down and have this one big fish studio. A studio apartment, it's a fish room, and you got a little recording studio in the middle here, and this is it. And you know, for me, fish keeping is obviously it's a lifestyle. It's not a hobby at this point. I'm sorry, I just don't know. I think for a lot of other people, they would agree. So I got to get this second rack up, and then things are going to completely change in here. I really want to get very economical. I want to show how I can actually do the LED lighting for really low cost lighting and aeration with sponge filters, and really just do a lot with a little. That's really what I'm a situation that I'm in here in the Caribbean. Thank you guys so much for watching. I just wanted to give you a quick little update of everything I've got going on here in my fish studio. Just keep your eyes open for other content. I'm going to be doing a little bit of spotlights on a couple of these individual projects I have going on. But thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Thank you to all of you that subscribe, like, comment on all my content. It means so much to me. And remember guys, keep your tanks clean, your fish fed, and have fun.